Hey, how's my sound? Good? I'm a little low because I'm a little far away from the microphone. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honey Badger Radio. My name is Brian. I'm here with the wife,
Hi.
Lindsay. And we're going to be responding to some videos by a really prominent uh, men's rights YouTuber, I guess. I don't want to say that she isn't, trying to do like some awareness about men's issues. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if she's ever really identified with it. I mean, kind of. Anyway, her name is Chloe Roma. She is probably the most popular men's rights oriented voice on social media. She's got over 800,000 subscribers on her YouTube channel. She's got a TikTok and a bunch of Twitter and everything, right? So very, very prominent voice. Um, and we have responded to her in the past because I think that I know that there are people who've said that she's like a chameleon and things like that, and I want to try and give her the benefit of the doubt, but she's certainly someone that has some work to do in this arena, in the way that she treats some men versus the way she treats other men. So a little bit of background on this. So Chloe Roma's been commenting a lot on the Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial, as has everybody else. Her obvious position on this is the ability to acknowledge that men can also be victims of domestic abuse and false allegations, which is what the whole Johnny Depp trial was about. Now, this news came after the verdict. I guess Kyle Rittenhouse either commented or was approached after the Johnny Depp verdict, and they asked him what he thought about it, or he decided to chime in on what he thought about it. And he basically said that he felt emboldened and inspired, to follow through on his defamation lawsuit because maybe he was a little worried that he wouldn't win, or, because the way the media treated Kyle Rittenhouse was pretty awful. And not just the media, but like LeBron James said stuff, and so like very prominent voices, social media. So Kyle Rittenhouse said, well, you know what, I think I do have a chance, and he filed his defamation suit. And there were I guess when he said it on Twitter.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. They're both defamations.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just put two and two together.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it may it
Well,
like
because I was thinking like Johnny Depp's thing is a domestic
yeah,
dispute, but I mean,
yeah.
like it's not. It's actually
right.
So is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Yeah, so both Kyle Rittenhouse is filing defamation against various media sources, along with Nick Sandman, by the way, who I think that Nick Sandman, one of the lawyers on his team, went to Kyle's team to help him. Because Nick Sandman, who was also, filing for defamation, was also really, really poorly treated by the media, especially considering that Nick Sandman literally did nothing.
Yeah,
except
he smirked.
Yeah, if you could even.
Did he win, or was he? I thought he got paid outside of court.
Yeah, like he settled with CNN, I think. But I don't think Nick Sandman is done. I think that he's still got lawsuits to file. So, we have all these things kind of coinciding. And when Kyle Rittenhouse put it out there, I guess Chloe Roma basically said to him on Twitter something like, keep Johnny Depp's name out of your mouth, because essentially Chloe Roma went under the assumed mainstream narrative about Kyle Rittenhouse, that he's a murderer, and that I don't know, the usual. But we're gonna look at Chloe Roma's YouTube videos right now about this. So and then I think we'll discuss what the issue is here, because I do think that this is demonstrating an issue. So first, we're gonna look at this video. It's called "If You're a Kyle Rittenhouse Sympathizer, Unsubscribe from Me." Sympathizer, yeah. I'm going to mute my microphone while I play the clip so that you don't get any feedback. So here we go.
You know, I've always known that the men's rights community has some crossover with the radical right, and I've always done my very best to make sure that my perspectives and my stances have always steered far away from those crazy fucks.
All right, let me just what does she mean? What does radical right mean? Like, this is like a thing
if it's people that support Kyle Rittenhouse because he defended himself, like normal men.
One would think. But do you see how she opens up? Like, you know, I work really hard to, like, I know that there's some in the men's rights community are part of the radical right. I don't know what that means. Like, this is one of these things that people say. They just say radical right or far right or whatever. And then they just pretend like that's an argument. They don't address it. They don't go into any depth. They don't explain anything. And then they just say, because they are part of the radical right, we have to be as far away from them as possible. But I don't even know what that means.
It's just pro-gun, I guess.
Well, yeah, but like, how is pro-gun radical right?
Pro-gun.
Like what? Like what? Look, this is a thing that we have to contend with. People, and the reason why I bring up Chloe Roma is because she's supposedly sympathetic to men's issues. Right? This is like her whole channel is based on this idea that she cares. But she is characterizing the average man, because the average man, if you ask the average man, do you think that you have a right to protect yourself? You know, like if you need to with a gun, they would probably say, yeah. Even if they don't like guns, like you can be a person who's personally against guns. You just don't want to have them around, or you're not comfortable with them, but you can still believe that men have a right to it. And I know that the Second Amendment is not gendered, like it's not like just for men. Obviously, women can do the same, but
just manly things.
Just manly things. But I will say that I would guess that in the majority of cases where there is a danger that needs a good person with a gun, people are going to expect men to be the ones to do it. Mm-hmm. In most cases. I know that there are cases that, there was a recent thing where a woman with a gun stopped an active shooter.
Right.
But
yeah, that happened like right after
the expectation is that men will lay down their lives to protect their community, right? That's the expectation. And this is just the way the world is. This is just what people expect from men. And but the only way we could let men do that, even if we're asking them something that could be considered unreasonable, is to let them have fucking guns. Like, are you going to disarm men and then tell them to protect women? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
right?
Not really, but I think what they think will happen is nobody will have guns.
Yeah, and then we'll all just dance around the tree.
Delete the idea of gun in all our heads, and it won't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And there'll be peace on Earth. There'll be no bad people ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, well, anyway, again, this is like airy-fairy thinking, but let's listen to more. And also bear in mind, Chloe Roma's not American; she's Canadian, so. They don't have gun rights in Canada. I believe that Trudeau just took away people's handguns, right? Or 9mm or something.
Yeah, I don't think you can buy them anymore.
Yeah, you can't buy them anymore. So, good luck with that, Canada. I'm sure that if you do that, all evil would just vanish.
The government will take care of you.
The government will take care of you, exactly. All right, but anyway. Yeah.
Right. But I must be naive somewhere because, boy, I could not have anticipated this. I shared this article on my YouTube where Kyle Rittenhouse says that he was inspired by Johnny Depp's verdict to sue for defamation.
Wait, defamation? So it says here, I can read the tweet now because she had it up on the screen. I think this is important, right? But she says, now you shut the fuck up and keep your dirty name away from Johnny Depp. Because Kyle Rittenhouse says Johnny Depp verdict inspired him to sue for defamation.
I think Rittenhouse is probably more of a virtuous person than...
I would guess
probably.
So. I mean...
But I don't want to start that.
Well, we can, you know what? We can come back to that. But just think about the actions that Kyle Rittenhouse took.
Mm-hmm.
and then compare that to any action that Johnny Depp took other than play a drunken pirate. So, and I say this as a person who supports and is happy that Johnny Depp won, right? Because I believe in due process and that he should have won. Like, that was good. I'm glad for him. But I hope also that, you know, he really has a serious look in the mirror to ask himself, how did I end up in a situation where I was fighting for my life against a woman who defamed me?
Yeah.
Like, that is the lesson that he has. Kyle Rittenhouse, I can't think of anything that he did that was wrong. You know, like, I mean, he was obviously putting himself at risk, but he was doing so for noble reasons.
Well, and he was like ready to take on risk, right?
Yeah,
like,
he went there fully prepared. It's not like he was like, you know, people came after him. He was like, that's not fair. You can't do that, you know. So but anyway. All right, let's hear more.
Verdict to sue for defamation. So I said, now you shut the fuck up and keep your dirty name away from Johnny Depp. Boy, did that make some people angry. Yeah. These people all had one thing in common. Let me see. Well, two things. Number one, they are whiter than the Canadian snow. And number two, they look like the type to take their sister out behind the field. You know?
So, okay. How can you advocate for men if you're so quick to criticize white men? Like, if you think that simply saying, well, they're white as a criticism, how can you advocate for men? Like, and I know that you could say she's white. I don't give a shit about that. But why does she care? This is the thing that I don't get. Oh, they're white dudes, and I guess they would do something with the sister. So
I think she's calling them rednecks. I
yeah,
guess.
like inbred rednecks that would engage in incest or something. Again, and why would you knowingly misrepresent people's like legitimate grievances with what you're saying? How can you be an advocate for men if you don't treat men the same? That's what I'm saying. So, all right, anyway, let's keep going.
You know what I'm saying? So like, wow, like I've known that I've always had to make a stance against like incels, you know, radical men's rights advocates, but I never ever thought that I would have to clear out my community by saying that if you are a Kyle Rittenhouse sympathetic, whatever, right? If you're here to kiss his ass, leave. Please leave.
So, again, how many, like, is Kyle Rittenhouse not a man? Does he not deserve, like, recompense? If there are any people who are watching this that are, like, big Chloe Roma supporters, are you shocked by this? Are you confused? You should be if you didn't think she would do this. But then the more I think you think about it, the more you realize that it's actually not that strange, because why? Well, let me ask you guys this, okay? And let me ask you this. How could Chloe Roma have any understanding of men's issues, like that she brings up statistics, like, you know, about fatherlessness, about how men are, well, I don't really know if she gets into the fatherlessness thing because I think she's a single mom, so she's like, ugh. But like about, you know, domestic violence, about, you know, the way men are victims of child custody and, you know, and,
that's
and
what I think.
false rape allegations.
I haven't watched a lot of her videos, but I thought that's what she heard.
The majority of what she talks about has to do with like dating and like female double standard. I think that's the reason why her channel's big too, by the way. Is like she's basically speaking to the normies, and so there's a lot of normie men who like to hear a woman say, you know, that pretend as though she sympathizes, or I don't want to say pretends. They would like to hear a woman say that they sympathize with their situation as single men, right?
Yeah, or understand it, acknowledge it.
Yeah. And I think that's why she's so big, because, like, you know, if you think about it, the average man, especially the average younger man, he's not all that worried about child custody and false allegations and domestic violence.
She doesn't talk about false allegations and stuff?
She does. But I'm saying, like, but most of her content is about dating. So, like, I'm saying if I was just a normie average guy, and let's say I was just struggling with girls, I might come across this channel and then feel like, oh, this woman gets me. I'm going to watch more of her content. And then occasionally she'll do a video on, domestic violence or whatever, and they'll just be like, yeah, okay, yeah, I accept that. But it's not something that's at the top of my mind right now, because as a young man... Sorry, my phone rang. So, but the average man wouldn't be thinking about all of those other things because they haven't faced it yet. And I think the average man worries about that stuff when it looks like a reality, but not when it's not, right? So instead, they're worried about just dating and trying to understand women, and maybe they're frustrated with some things they perceive as double standards, like, ladies' night and women wearing makeup and stuff. And Chloe Roma sort of like talks about all of those things, and she criticizes women a lot, which brings some of the men in her audience a great deal of pleasure. So, but like the thing is that I think that she got a lot of her data just by like watching other men's rights content and just regurgitating it. That's what I believe. I believed it from the beginning because I've heard her say stuff that I've been saying for years and years and years. And, it was nice to see more people saying it, because I do think that the idea getting out there is more important than maybe like, how it gets there, because that's sort of the nature of awareness raising, right? It's just get more people to talk about it. Yay, that's great.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, though, if she would have done the due diligence to find out about all these men's issue statistics, but just regurgitates the same mainstream narrative that the media puts out about Kyle Rittenhouse, then it tells me that Chloe Roma couldn't possibly have like done all this work on her own, and she was just saying what other people have said that she thought would work with her audience.
Yeah.
Because if you Google Kyle Rittenhouse right now, on Google, not like on some other thing, you're going to see a bunch of hit pieces and slanted, anti-Kyle Rittenhouse articles. It's what you're going to see. And you would have to do some digging to find something that's going to at least be objective, if not, in support of Kyle Rittenhouse. So if you're someone like Chloe Roma and you just go online, well, I wonder what this is about. I heard he was a murderer that crossed state lines, with an AR-15, specifically to kill black people during the mostly peaceful protests of Kenosha. And that's what you're going to find. And so she is primed to believe the mainstream media narrative, which the reason why I think it makes it fishy that she could have known about all these other men's issues is that those other men's issues are not readily available in the mainstream media. Like if you search for them in the mainstream media, you're going to hear about toxic masculinity at best, right? Is the best you can do is some Vice article about how you should blow a guy and maybe it'll make you happier as a man, And I mean, it just tells me
Does that work for women too?
Yeah, it's not going to lick itself. But I'm just saying, it tells me that she doesn't seem to do the work. And so this is why she's just saying what the media has essentially conditioned most people, or is trying to condition most people to believe about Kyle Rittenhouse, about the Second Amendment, about everything else, about Black Lives Matter, about how he's a racist and everything, even though it literally, like, there's no evidence for any of it. So why would she not do the work? And I think it's because she just wants to believe this. And also, I do think that she has an ego problem.
Probably.
Yeah, because
her channel's called Roma Army.
Yeah.
Getting an army.
If like,
she's
but
losing her army.
That means
anyway.
that if men disagree with her and she gets upset,
I guess it's an army
she
without
just
lashes.
Lashes out.
They better not have any guns.
It's an unarmed army.
Roma unarmed army.
All right. Anyway, let's play some more.
Because I just blocked so many people from that community post, and I will keep on blocking. I will happily do it. So could you just remove yourself, please? I hope to see a bunch of unfollowed people. I hope to lose subscribers today is what I'm saying, okay? Because you guys are the exact type of people that I would like to just toss off my balcony into the trash bin.
Oh, okay. So men that she wants to advocate for have to be men who don't believe that men have a right to bodily like self-defense or bodily protection. They don't have a right to it. So a man who says, I don't have a right to protect myself is the kind of man that you're going to advocate for. But because those are the only men that are real good men.
Yeah.
So again, like, in what way, and I know that there are people who would say it's not, but do you believe that there is a connection between the Second Amendment and men's issues? I think there is. Now, I'm not saying that the Second Amendment is universal. I mean, isn't universal. It obviously applies.
Yeah.
But
no,
again,
I do think it's
yeah.
connected, yeah.
How can men do the thing that society expects of them? And even if they don't, it's not even necessarily just an expectation. It's just a human right. I mean, it's simply that. That's it. It's just, you have a right to protect yourself. That's what the Second Amendment is.
Well, it's not just for...
No, it's not. But I'm saying a man, okay, in a family, if the Second Amendment is alive and well, a father is likely the guy carrying the gun. Not the mom, not the kids.
Likely.
I mean, like, ideally, everyone would have guns. But I'm saying, I'm saying that, though, like, if it's not a right, and again, it is a right, and it is a man who has a right. Kyle Rittenhouse is a man. So what she's saying is, because she is the one who determines that men deserve what she would describe as rights, even though most of them are just issues, they're not necessarily rights. She would say that men do not have access to this right. And if they believe they do, they are not men worthy of my advocacy.
Yeah, like the way you're framing it, that's kind of right. Like,
yeah,
like it is a right. It's a constitutional right in the U.S.
Yep.
But I don't know if that's how she is framing it in her head. Like, I don't know. She's not really explaining it well either.
Well,
you're just a garbage person if you like.
Yeah, you're just a garbage person.
Kyle Rittenhouse.
Exactly, and no, she's not going to make an argument.
I need to go.
She's
off
a
midwit,
more
more than
in my opinion. So
happened, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, let me play the last of this. It's like literally like 2 seconds. Maybe I won't bother. But what I will do is I'll read a super chat and then we'll go to the next video, because after this she got ratioed really hard, like something like the majority of her video got dislikes. People in the comments were like, "Oh, I normally like," this is like the typical like milquetoast response, "I normally like most of your content, but this video in particular was a bit troublesome because I didn't quite understand what you were saying. I mean, do you think that people don't deserve, like, that Kyle Rittenhouse is guilty of something?" It's like, no, people should be in there saying Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong and you're a moron. Period. Shall not be infringed. Sorry. Am I saying something political? It shouldn't be. It's in the Constitution. It's well, the Bill of Rights, whatever. It is what it is. That's all. People should not be advocating against something that you can't change, especially if you're fucking Canadian. Sorry, no offense to Canadians. All right, Johnny Boy Quick Draw gives us $5 and says, "We're witnessing the disintegration of terms like alt-right and racist and so on. They're thrown around like Twinkies at a body positivity party." Well, frankly, those things should die because they don't mean anything. They're not useful. So yeah, let them go. I don't care. If somebody, look, I've been called racist for a number of positions that have nothing to do with race, and I'm just done because they don't serve any purpose except to silence people. So yeah, let it die. Don't care. Bye. Slightly Evil, aka Patrick, gives us $2 and says, "Kyle exercised excellent gun control."
He did.
He did. Very well said. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna play the next video. So after this, she got kind of mad, and
Matter.
yeah, more mad, and basically she doubled down. This is all she can do now is double down. And the reason for this
Well, it's
is
not all she could have done. She could have done some.
that would have taken humility.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, she has no humility. It's about being right because she's trying to build
she might
an
still
army
try
of
to
followers.
Well, she's losing followers though.
Yeah.
She might try to like figure it out.
Well, I would love that, but she made a series of videos where she doesn't. So, all right, let's keep going.
This is a reminder that I will very happily get ratioed by Kyle Rittenhouse sympathizers before I will keep them as subscribers. So, looks like I'll be roasting him for the day. Yes, hello? This is a reminder that I will very happily get ratioed by Kyle Rittenhouse sympathizers.
All right, it was repeating. I wasn't sure. So she's basically saying, I'm not going to change my position. I'm going to roast Kyle Rittenhouse sympathizers, like people who believe that Kyle Rittenhouse did nothing wrong and the media treated him unfairly, and that the Second Amendment is a right that we all have. I mean, people try to take it all the time, but okay, that's a sympathizer. I like how she frames that too, where she says Kyle Rittenhouse sympathizer sounds like Nazi sympathizer. That's kind of the purpose, because like I don't even know Kyle Rittenhouse. I don't know him. Most people don't know him.
Yeah.
So what are they basing their view on? Well, they're looking at what happened. They're looking at the evidence. They understand what the right to bear arms is, and they're acting based on that info. It's got nothing to do with like, I'm a Kyle Rittenhouse fanboy. Like that's not,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not just allegiance because.
Allegiance to Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yeah.
It's not like that.
I got a super chat from French Honey Badger for $5 and says, if someone does not respect your natural rights as a human being, how can you trust them to respect your rights as a man? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
If they don't understand what rights are, like at their root, how can they advocate for men's rights? Like, how can you even, like, does she even know what the word rights means? I know that a lot of people use the word rights. It gets thrown around a lot. But it doesn't apply, in my opinion, in most cases. I think it's really just, freedom from the pressures of the state or the mob or whatever you want to call it. And it's kind of a short list, but I don't think that she gets it. I mean, we're going to keep going so you guys can see what she thinks about other things. And again, I don't think that there are issues that men have that don't affect women and vice versa. I don't think that there are issues that women have that don't in fact affect men in general. So these things are intertwined, right? They can't really be separated from each other.
I just find this weird and manipulative. Like I don't even know what her problem with Kyle Rittenhouse is. It's just like shaming.
She was told.
Shame on you.
She was told he was a violent murderer. That's a racist, and she just believes it.
I guess.
I don't know what else could it be.
I guess.
What is the popular cultural narrative around Kyle Rittenhouse? He's a racist murderer that killed 3 white guys, all of whom were felons.
Lines.
Oh, I'm sorry, he killed 2 white guys
Across
and injured
state
one.
lines.
Yeah, cross state lines. AR-15. Like, these are when the media talked about the Kyle Rittenhouse case, there were certain phrases that they wanted you to essentially have a Pavlovian reaction to. Cross state lines, AR-15, racist, white supremacist, right? Went to Kenosha looking to kill Blackie. Like, it's stupid, but it's what they said over and over and over. And so people like Chloe, they're just responding to their programming. She's an NPC. She's an NPC, okay? So let's get to the next video. All right. So again, she's doubling down. Pretty sure.
Yes, hello. I'm just here to do a little values check. Just here to make sure that this community aligns with my values. Because why would you want to support me if my values don't align with yours, right? Okay, let's go. Kyle Rittenhouse is a little bitch. You're not an alpha. You're just a douche. Women should have the right over their own bodies. Let's see, trans, gay people, they're valid. What else? The election wasn't rigged. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. If anything I just said offends you, please unfollow, unsubscribe, forget about me. Get one of those things from Men in Black. Psh, boo, gone. Wasn't even.
So now look at what she did. She just spouted off a bunch of feminist talking points and then linked them all together. She basically said, if you believe that Kyle Rittenhouse is not a douche, I think, and you believe, I guess, that means that you're not an alpha. So now she's deciding what men are, right? And this is a thing that she's done before, where she's basically like taken, in her videos, she tries to take men's man card. So that, what does that mean? Well, she'll advocate for you as long as you serve her. That's not advocacy. Okay? And she believes that, what else did she say? That something about abortion, I think?
Yeah, like a
women's right to choose.
No, her body. Or
she can do whatever she wants with her body, whatever. But I mean, she's clearly talking about the abortion thing.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't believe that women should be able to protect their body with guns.
Yeah, well, that's what I was commenting on.
Yeah, exactly. So again, she's like, I guess, militantly pro-choice, which is funny because men don't have a choice when it comes to whether or not a woman has their child. They have no say. And if the woman decides to abort it and he wanted to keep it, too bad. If a woman decides to keep it when he doesn't think that she should, too bad. If a woman decides that he has to pay for it, too bad. But yeah, sure. Her body, her choice. It doesn't affect the men. Remember what I said? Women's issues impact men. Men's issues impact women. But no, it's all conditional for her. Right? It's just like, well, this is what I think. And then like gay and trans people are valid. Like, who is saying that's not the case? Like, where does that argument come from? Another sort of like commonly used leftist argument is to say that, if you don't think that kids should be going to drag shows, and I know you guys saw the viral video of the most recent incident. If you don't believe that, then you don't think that gay and trans people are valid. No, how about I don't think kids should be exposed to this? I mean, people can feel that way. What's wrong with that? Well, obviously, when the people like Chloe Roma say, this is my view, they're not saying you're allowed to have your view. They're saying that if you don't have their view, you should be ostracized from polite discourse, right? So, and I wouldn't be surprised if she came after this channel, if she finds out about this, because I've heard that she's done that before with other people who have responded to her. So, I'm sorry, Allison, if that happens. So, all right, I got another super chat. No, I already read that one. Yeah. So anyway, basically she's saying these are my values, and among them is the idea that Kyle Rittenhouse is a douche, and also that men don't like agree with me. They're not alpha. They're incels. Remember she mentioned like before that, she was like
uncomfortable with the radical parts.
Radical incels.
Yeah.
A person who cares about men would have a better understanding of the incel phenomenon and be more sympathetic. But she is not. She is not. She believes that inceldom is some kind of movement or political position. There are some incels that are very angry, but I understand their anger and frustration. I think that what they need is sympathy and someone to listen to them, right? But she doesn't have that. She will radicalize people, because she's essentially saying, I have a men's rights community. It is my community, right? These are my simps. Because I mean, that's what I think. Well, they're basically men that are just around her because they like what she says, and she makes them feel better about themselves. And then she creates an outgroup by saying there are some men in my community that I do not approve of and they can't be here, they should leave. What do you think that's going to do? Like, this is what I'm saying, it's so irresponsible. Like, I don't know.
Irresponsible.
Is that not a good way to describe it?
Why do you think it's irresponsible?
Well, you know, I think that if you're talking to a group of people who are in an emotionally vulnerable place, and you want to make them stronger so that they're not in that position, but you don't want to create like sub tribes, where there are men who are like the good men that she likes, and then there are men who are following her because they like what she says, but they disagree with her on some things, and so she essentially calls them out, insults them, and ostracizes them. And so if you're a man and you don't get a lot of advocacy anywhere, or you're not seeing it, and then there's this woman who claims to care, and then you listen to her content, and then she says something about, well, we'll just say Kyle Rittenhouse as an example, then you say, oh, well, I don't think that that's right. I think that Kyle Rittenhouse he didn't do anything wrong. It was self-defense. He won his case. Did you even watch the case? Blah, blah, blah. And then she says, you're not one of us. Like, what is that? I mean,
I don't know if I would call it irresponsible, just because, like, people are on the internet and they might gain a following.
Well, yeah, I know. She doesn't have, like, control over them. I think she's trying to exert
manipulative, but it doesn't necessarily work because she's just a talking head on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she's trying to, like.
I mean, I understand that people do, like, kind of put more into figures online than they should, but I think that's more on them than it is. Like,
yeah.
Like, she's crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
Follow her that closely.
I wouldn't follow her either, but, like, I guess that's sort of my point. She does have, like, a base of people, I suppose. I mean, she still has like 800,000 something subs, even though she lost like a lot after this. But I guess what I'm saying is that even as someone who myself makes mistakes, I try to hold myself to a pretty decent standard when I communicate these thoughts, so that people are not misunderstanding me, but also that they,
the part that I don't like about it is she's not open to any kind of conversation, or like maybe I'm off about this. I might be wrong. Like I don't know. Like, there's no conversation. It seems like more like she's trying to manipulate through shame and stuff to, like, get her own little army, her own little cult of
that's it. It's a bit culty. I think that's why I'm saying, like, well, it can be. I don't know.
That's how you find it, like, you're responsible. But the thing is, like, the trick is don't see her as some kind of idol.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the thing is, this kind of, like, it can get a bit culty, and it can do so in a number of different spaces. Like, I don't think the men's rights community, or whatever you want to call it, is immune to that.
No, I don't think anywhere.
No, nowhere is. Like, we were just talking, we used to talk about this happening in Carnivore, right? Yeah. Where it got really culty and ideological.
Don't you dare mention honey.
Yeah. So, it could be anywhere, but I think that to be responsible is to be aware of that and mindful of that. But I think that's that Chloe is just
what they have in common with vegans. Vegans argue about honey too.
Oh yeah, sure. Because it exploits bees?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
But not all vegans believe that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, if it's hurting an animal, it's clearly the vegans have something to say.
It hurts the bees' feelings, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like they get there and there's no honey, and they're like, "Aw, all my work."
That was for my babies.
All right. So then she made a video called "I have gone back and educated myself on Kyle Rittenhouse." So this looks like a serious video. Let's see. Again, these are all like in the span of like a couple of days. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's play this bit.
Okay. So when I did my apology video, earlier this week for wearing my braids, I got completely roasted. Like, completely roasted. And one of the biggest comments people were saying was, oh no, here comes like a string of apologies and blah, 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 and you better not turn into one of those people. And I'm really not trying to do that here. I just really feel like maybe I said some out of line stuff earlier today in my posts and in my community posts and my videos and whatnot. And so, in regards to the Kyle Rittenhouse situation, I just want you guys to know that I have gone back, I have done more research, and I would like to genuinely say sorry to absolutely fucking nobody.
Did you see that coming? I saw that coming. Again, no, let's find out what her reasoning is, but I thought I'm sorry, but I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss to figure out why following or supporting Kyle Rittenhouse is so terrible. I can't figure it out. So let's hear the reasoning. If we're gonna get any, I mean, we may not. So
to nobody. I'm not apologizing to you. Stupid. That guy went into a crowd and decided to kill a bunch of people. America is the only place where that would be constituted as fucking self-defense. Are you stupid? I live in Canada. We don't go walking around with fucking rifles. Not to mention, one of the people he killed was an older gentleman who was like, oh shit, maybe he's going too far, and he just went to defend somebody. Boom, Kyle shot him.
Gentleman.
Are you talking about Rosenbaum, the felon, or Grosskreutz, the felon? Like, you know, again, where did she get this idea that Kyle went into a crowd and started killing people? Where did she get that? Like, why did she conclude that? That's not what happened.
No.
So, at best, okay, she's not. She even said that she did the research. Where did you go? Vice? Where did you go? The Daily Beast?
Young Turks?
Yeah, the Young Turks? Like, who did you get your info from?
I wouldn't be surprised, actually. She probably watches the Young Turks.
Like, I hope she loses way more subs than she has. Only because on this issue, okay, on this issue, you cannot make a rational argument against it. Like, I even disagree with Dr. Warren Farrell, who wants to ban guns because he thinks it's better for kids, right? Or boys. I even disagree with him. I think he's 100% wrong. Kids used to take rifles to school, like in the 50s and 60s, right?
Yeah.
And there were no shootings.
Well, there was like shooting class, basically.
Yeah, there was like when we used to go to school and learn skills that we could actually use. But like
the world was a lot different, though. Admittedly,
it was. But like,
not like I was there.
No. I mean, obviously not. But the point is that like if you're talking about the guns, then you're missing the point because it's not about that. And people in Canada have guns.
They do.
Not for long, but they do for now.
They do.
Right?
Yeah.
So, you know, this isn't like, again, I cannot for the life of me see how this woman is at all like rational if that's her argument. And she's not sympathetic. She doesn't care what people think. It's all about her. This is what we're getting. So if you're a fan of hers, I want you to honestly make the case as to why she's right in the comments. I want to see it.
So, I don't know how y'all are for men's rights, but are, pandering after Kyle, but do your thing. I'm sure he'll pay your bills, give you some recognition. Yeah. I think McGregor still said it best, though, I must say. Have a good day.
So again, how are you for men's rights if you're not against the Second Amendment?
Yes.
That's what she's saying.
It's becoming more and more clear that's what she's talking about. Because in Canada, they don't walk around with guns.
Look, if you don't like the United States,
people walk around here with guns.
People totally walk around here with guns. If you don't like the United States, and it's for whatever reason. I'm not going to tell you that you're a bad person or that you're wrong, but don't talk about like our rights situation and our like founding documents like you know why we have them.
Yeah,
because,
what was that? The Great Endor says what? McGregor? Like, is
I don't
like
know.
The fighter?
McGregor? Is Conor McGregor?
I don't know.
Ewan McGregor? You were the chosen one. That's what a lot of people in her comments are saying. You were supposed to destroy the Sith, not join them. Anyway, well, yeah, maybe Conor McGregor. I don't know what he said though. So do you guys see like why this is like kind of frustrating for me? She's got a much bigger channel, which it's not like an envy thing, but she's reaching way more people. And
Ian McGregor?
Ewan. Who's Ian McGregor?
I don't know.
No, Ewan McGregor.
I'm getting distracted by the chat. I'm like, what?
He played
McGregor?
Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequels.
I don't know.
I know. That's okay. And you know what? I don't really care for him as a person anyway, so. Okay. Yeah, maybe if I got a whole bunch of neck tattoos, I'd probably like reach more people and be a woman with an OnlyFans. She has an OnlyFans, so. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ask you to do that because
I'm not gonna do it.
Okay. So
I'll start an OnlyFans and I'll teach people how to cut meat.
Yeah. That'd be pretty badass in my opinion.
All the different kinds.
Okay. So let's hear the last. No. She's got. No, yeah, this is her last one. This was the last one she made, and she hasn't uploaded anything since. And I think this came out like on Saturday or something. So maybe Saturday or Friday. Actually, I think it was Friday. All right. So anyway, let's go.
Rittenhouse stands be like,
now you done here, look, okay, that was self-defense and Kyle Rittenhouse should be viewed as a hero.
yeah, not my hero. My heroes don't leave their place of residency with a rifle and go kill innocent people.
I done here did know that you were a pedo lover.
Whoa! Where the fuck did that come from? A pedo lover?
Right. Well, okay, before we get to that part, because I'm sure that some people were essentially telling her that by calling, at least one of the guys I think he killed was a convicted pedophile or something like that. At least one. I mean, I don't remember the story of those three men that, went around. But I don't think it's really that important because the point is they came after Kyle. One of them had a gun and he shot them because they were trying to kill him. And they probably would have killed him. Do you remember that guy? Remember I mentioned it before, that guy in, I don't know if it was Portland or Seattle area, but he was part of Patriot Prayer, and Antifa murdered him. Yeah. And, no one talks about it. No one knows about it. It doesn't get into the news. Do you know why? Because the media doesn't think that it's very useful.
Yeah,
so they leave it out.
Way more important than that. Some kid smirked at a native guy.
Yeah, some kid smirked at a native guy, yeah. And
he was wearing a Trump hat.
Yeah, that's news. But you see, like,
one of those magma hats.
What she's basically saying is that some people in the comments may have considered or called her a pedophile sympathizer because
it's kind of the same logic she's using.
It is the same logic, but it's not really the best logic to respond to either. Like, you should probably just ignore those ad hominems and just respond to the strongest arguments. But of course, she's gonna turn on her redneck American accent because fuck America and fuck guns and fuck men who are from those places and care about those things, but also I care about men. Do you know how many black men in the South are pro-gun? A lot of them. I mean, it's kind of disgusting to me. But all right, let's play the rest of this shit.
Oh, You didn't done hear? You didn't done hear that one of the men that he done shot was a child lover? Hush, Cletus. What are you saying? Are you saying that you're a child lover hugger?
Ew, that's one way to win a conversation, I guess. I mean, it's really slimy and really gaslighty. Like, it's a terrible position to put somebody in. Oh, you have to support this mass shooter.
Exactly what I think she's doing.
Yeah, right?
Sliming all over.
It's really weird to like frame, me as a pedophile lover because one of the people I'm defending was a pedophile. But if you support Kyle Rittenhouse, you're in favor of mass murder with AR cannons and like, all kinds of deadly assault weapons that blow the lung out the back. I think on some level, if you're gonna like talk about like rights and men's rights, you're gonna have to like take the side of rights. Besides, yeah, I saw it. I couldn't tell what it was.
There's a little bird on the window.
Oh, what kind of bird was it though?
I couldn't really tell.
Oh, okay.
Probably like.
Yeah, it looked like it had a long tail.
No.
It looked like it. All right. Well. Okay. So yeah. So now she's just gonna straw man, and let's play the rest of this.
Or else you love pedophiles. What? Had he gone there to shoot a pedophile, that might be a different story. But I'm sorry, you don't get a gold star just because you happen to shit on the person that deserved to be shat on.
Well, isn't it weird that the people he ended up shooting, like, what are the odds that one of those men was a pedophile? What are the odds that all three of the men he shot were convicted felons? What are the odds of that? Like, wouldn't it at least make you think, wait a minute, Kyle Rittenhouse, and I'm going to tell what really happened, okay? He worked in Kenosha. Like, that was where his job was. It was very close to the border, right, state of Illinois. The Illinois state border and the Wisconsin state border, which, he was really close to that.
Well, his dad lived in Kenosha.
His dad lived in Kenosha, yes, and he had a job there.
Yeah,
Illinois. I can't remember what town it was. It doesn't matter. It's not Chicago, so. And the business that, I guess he worked there, or he knew, maybe it was another business that he knew the guy who owned it.
Right.
It had been like looted like 3 times in the past couple of days.
Yeah.
Okay. So the guy was looking for some people to help him protect his business. Now, do you believe that a person who owns property has a right to protect their property, has a right to, like, essentially request help from friends to help that person protect their property, their business? Okay? I know that that's a capitalist argument and therefore it's evil, but do people have a right to protect their shit?
Not only that, like, I think Rittenhouse like performed some.
Yeah,
it first aid, I guess.
Yeah,
treatment on some people.
Yeah,
he
was
also
an EMT.
Cleaning graffiti off
cleaning
of
off
buildings.
graffiti. Yep, he had been there all day.
Yeah,
right, and doing all kinds of things, cleaning graffiti, like treating people who needed it. He was up there with his shit. Yes, he had a rifle because he might have had to use it. Lo and fucking behold,
it didn't cross state lines though.
No, it didn't cross straight state lines. Someone gave it to him after he crossed, I think.
It's like his sister's boyfriend or something like that. I can't remember.
And he was doing a good thing. Like, these are the kinds of things. So when she said at the beginning, he's a hero. Well, actually, yes, he is. Yes. Who do you think is a hero? The cops at Uvalde? Because, they're the only ones allowed to have guns? Like, these are not conversations that take place in a vacuum. Men's issues does not exist in a vacuum. Right? It intersects with all other rights and other issues, so you have to address everything in a sane and rational way. So if you leave that out, you just say, well, people shouldn't have guns. Okay, well, should Kyle Rittenhouse have gone up there and defended his friend's business? No, because fuck property, let them burn it down. Like, it wasn't a protest.
Yeah.
It was a riot.
Yeah.
The people, like during the day, there were likely marches with moms and their kids holding signs all day, probably. But at night, when moms and the soccer moms go home and they feel good about themselves for having like marched around the neighborhood or stood on the corner for a while, then the riots started. And the destruction and the fires and the arson and the fucking assaults and the murders. And so, like, Kyle was up there when that was going on, and they were coming for him. Now, I mean, it's as simple as that. And then he defended himself. So, like, he didn't just not do anything wrong. What he did is worthy of some degree of reverence, because he was doing things for his community and helping people.
That's just it. Like, the problem with relying on institutions is like they can become more and more separated from their communities, and like they have less and less skin in the game. But really, the people that have skin in the game are the people in the communities. So if you are willing to go out there and be accountable for something, like, I don't know, it's like meaningful.
Yeah,
it's meaningful
it
that
is.
Kyle Rittenhouse decided to do this.
Yes.
I mean, you don't have to call him a hero, but he was doing something meaningful.
Yeah, he was.
He wasn't just out there to, like, hurt other people. That obviously wasn't his intention at all.
Yep.
He didn't want anyone to get hurt. That was, like, part of his being there.
Yep. And to make another point, like, Kyle was close to dying. Like, he was on the ground at one point, and one of the guys had a Glock pointed right at his head.
Yeah.
And Kyle managed to be faster than him or something.
Yeah.
Right? And that was the guy who lived, by the way. They blew out his arm or something. Yeah. And that guy admitted on the you know, at the trial of what was going on. Like, he admitted to everything.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, how could she possibly have a completely different version of events that she's reciting as what happened that day? Do you realize that if Kyle Rittenhouse was murdered, if he was killed there, we wouldn't be talking about him right now? Like, it wouldn't have made news. They would not have talked about it at all. It would have been just like the Patriot Prayer guy, where it's like you hear about it, you know, briefly, because it's in the local news, and maybe like people like Andy Ngo or Tim Pool may report on it, and then it goes into the memory hole, because the media won't report on it if it doesn't carry any like significant political weight to it that they can use.
Yeah,
so
it's kind of like the people that were killed in the protests, like what was that area called? Was it Portland? Chop or Chaz?
Oh yeah, Chaz and Chop. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Portland,
people were killed.
Yeah, like 24 people died.
24.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, over the course of the whole
I
time.
Like
not all at once though. It was like, you know, I think it was, yeah. Or maybe that might be the combination of all the riots.
Maybe. Because I don't think that it was that many.
It was like 24 deaths, but I think that's like all of 2020, like all of the rioting and everything.
Yeah.
But like, you know, again, if Kyle was killed that day, nobody would talk about it. And I think that's just really, really profoundly sad, because what he did is what we need more of. Like, we need more exposure of good people, especially good men, doing good things, doing what they think is right, right? Even if you think it's like, maybe it's foolish or whatever, but it's inspiring in the right ways, right? And of course, nobody wants that. And how could a person who claims to advocate for men want to dismiss that? Like, I mean, unless, of course, they just don't know. But if you don't know, why are you doing this? Like, you should know. I know. I'm not a genius. I'm not a professional researcher. I just don't watch MSNBC. Like, that's literally all you got to do. So, I don't know. I think it's deserving of some recognition. I agree with Jim Bottle mentioned Andy Ngo in the chat. And I think Andy Ngo is somebody who deserves more praise for the work that he does, because it is dangerous.
Andy Ngo is a really good example, because that's like one that I disagreed with Brian about, because I was like, initially, I was like, well, why did he do that? Like, why did he go there without a bodyguard or anything? Like didn't he know that this could happen and he could get murdered or hurt? And it upset me. But then Brian's like, yeah, but like it's a risk he wanted to take. It's not up to like us to decide what risks people are or should take, right? And if they do take a risk, maybe it should be a bit smarter, in my opinion.
Well,
I mean, they should be praised for standing up, I guess, for what they want to do, what they believe in.
But yes, you're right. It's his choice. Now, I and I think that there's no one else appears to be stepping up. That's another thing, right? No one else is stepping up. So if Andy Ngo is the only person that does it,
right,
I'm not going to be wagging my finger at him like he shouldn't do it.
Trying to infiltrate Antifa to figure some stuff out. I guess you can't really shit on him too much. I mean, why won't you go in and do it then? Exactly.
Right. So that that's what I'm saying. And unfortunately, Andy Ngo he may be murdered one day. I mean, I know that he's still doing the work and he's staying up there, I believe, but he may end up dead one day. And when he does, are we going to call him an idiot, or are we going to get appropriately righteously angry at the people who did that to him?
Right.
That this is the thing. If you react to everything with well, how do I do what I can to preserve myself, then you basically just tell evil to just go ahead and proceed, just don't go too crazy. And it's no, maybe we should be going after the criminals.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be going after the bad people. And maybe we need to recognize the difference between right and wrong as our starting point. And this brings me back to Chloe Roma, who doesn't know, but she claims that she is some kind of leader in this. So anyway, I think this might be the end of this video, but I'm just going to check.
Sorry. Kyle.
Yeah, that's the end. So this is the Chloe Roma thing. I need to get the extension.
There's one more video. Is that the?
No, this is just her channel.
Oh.
It shows if you look, you can see this. I've never seen victim blaming this bad as about the Johnny Depp thing. Sure, fair enough, right? Then 2 days ago, if you're a Kyle Rittenhouse sympathizer, unsubscribe. That same day, I hope this post, my last one, reaches more. That same day, that same day, that same day. So all in the span of the last 2 days, on the same day, she just put out, and then she's been quiet ever since. So this isn't going over well. She still has 869,000 subscribers. And I hope that the men who are subscribed are just, maybe they're just being forgiving. Maybe they're just saying, you know what, you're wrong on this issue, but I like your other content, so whatever. But I think that if someone is wrong on this issue, I think that could lead to other problems with that person later. So, I mean, do you know what rights are? That you can't advocate for rights if you don't know what rights are. So do you know what rights are? That's basically all it is, right? It comes down to that. I don't know what else to say. What about you? We good?
Yeah, I don't really have anything. I mean,
what?
I think I saw it coming.
Oh yeah, me too. I did too, because we've criticized her before. I forget what it was about, but I think that she becomes a feminist when it's convenient. That's what I've seen. Where, she would say, she has a lot of videos where she does a lot of well, feminism is good and they can work with men's rights activists, right?
Yeah.
And this is a common argument she makes. And I know the reason is because, again, she has a feminist mentality anyway, right? And so she's like, these things have to be compatible because feminism is just good. And if you're someone like me that basically says, no, it's not good and it never was, and we need to throw away that myth, it's always been trash and cringe. She will say, I'm a radical men's rights activist that, wants to take away women's rights or something. But yeah, she just doesn't know what she's talking about. But I've seen her say it. I know that that's the paradigm that she operates under. So Okay, well, anyway, let us know what you guys think about this in the comments. Let me check and see if there's any super chows, because I tend to forget to do that. And we will go from there. Just a second. Sorry about this. Allison has too many rooms in the Discord. Way too many rooms. Okay. So this is from the 3rd. I guess, did we read these? Oh, here we go. AIA Power gives us $50. This was on the 4th, so it was a couple days ago. And says, wish I was rich to be able to fully finance you all, but thank you for what you do. Thank you, AIA Power. And then Amasang gives us $16 today and says, $16 to celebrate my YouTube channel's 16th birthday. I can't believe I joined on 6606. Can you tell I had a goth phase? Thank you, Amasang, for that. Really appreciate it. Let me just put a done in here so I don't forget that we've done those. All right. So, and there's no more super chats. So let me just check Rumble to see if there's any last minute. Oh, that's the wrong one. If there's been any like comments in here. No. Well, there are people chatting. Thank you for that. For participating. All right. So with that said, I'm going to end the show here. And again, I just want to say to any Roma fans that are watching, I don't hate her. I'm not, I'm not angry at her. I just think that she's wrong. And I think that there's a blind spot and that she needs to, get a better understanding of what rights are. I think it makes it challenging to advocate for rights if you don't know what they are. That's it. That's what.
And maybe like overcome your fear of guns.
Yeah, overcome your fear of guns.
Maybe. I don't know if that's what it is, but it might be that.
Yeah. They're with us.
I know it was with me.
Yeah.
I was pretty afraid of guns for a long time. So
you're still a bit, I think.
Yeah, I will definitely. But I mean, I was afraid, and that fear made me think that nobody should have guns.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, I was sympathetic to that when I was younger.
Yeah.
But I know once you realize you live in the real world and that like they're not going away. I mean, fuck. I lived in Chicago. You know that other than the police, the only people who had guns were people who weren't supposed to have them.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and it's really obvious. It's really obvious. So.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if people want to, like, commit some mass murder or something, they don't have to use guns.
They don't have to use guns. Like what about the guy who drove through
the
Christmas thing? In
that was in Canada, right?
No. It was in the United States. I want to say it was in it might have been, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I can't remember right now. But this black guy, he drove into a crowd of white people because he hated white people. Oh. And he killed like 20-something people.
Damn.
So, more deaths probably. Yeah, I think it was more deaths than Uvalde. But again, nobody talks about that because it didn't involve a gun. It involved a black guy who hated white people. It was Waukesha. Thank you. And that means it's not convenient. So, and again, mass shootings happen in Chicago like every weekend, but we don't talk about them because again, it's young, fatherless black men killing most of the time other young, fatherless black men. And none of that's useful to the media.
And you can't just like get rid of bad people in the world. They exist.
No.
So wouldn't you want to make sure that good people that want to have some stake in their community have a way to defend themselves and other people?
Yep. Again, it's not that hard. But all right, we're gonna wrap up the show here. If you guys like this video, please hit like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, hit the bell for notifications, leave us a comment, follow us on alternative streaming platforms, especially on Rumble, Twitch, and Twitter, and Facebook, because we haven't had any issues with those platforms yet, other than like whatever limitations the platform itself has. And I think that it would be, you know, if you guys don't not sure about YouTube, or if you are having problems with Rumble, then check us out on Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. All right. And follow us over there. So thank you guys so much. Please share this video. It's the best thing you can do for us. And we will talk to you all in the next video. Okay.
Men's rights activists are machines, dude. Okay? They are literal machines. They are talking point machines. They are impossible to fucking deal with, especially if you have a couple dudes who have good memory on top of that too. Holy shit, you're fucked.